We got a really good
YouTubers
show.
are already with us?
Thank you
Yes,
for
they
tuning
are.
in for this Unity Partner Program. Unity Online Radio partners with spiritual leaders from organizations whose mission and messages complement Unity's. We are pleased to bring you this program on
Where are my
Unity
reading glasses?
Online Radio, the voice of an awakening world.
This
We
one is
really
called the
do.
Pants. Take 8.
Use our God boxes.
Welcome to Funniest Thing with Daryl and Ed, the
Look how
best-looking
stuffed
guys
that
on the
is.
radio. We all know the funniest things
Wow,
happen
ye
when we
of little
stop taking
faith.
ourselves too
I
seriously
guess
that's
and
most-
step out
more
boldly,
faith, right?
like
Yeah.
Mr. McGoon.
More inside means more
stepping
faith.
onto
Yeah,
the next
I know
swinging
it'll work.
girder and falling Ed are about to administer a
gotta show
refreshing
them
dose
this
of
again.
laughter and love that will inspire you to step out boldly and experience the funniest things. Now, here are your hosts, Daryl and Ed.
Welcome to The Funniest Thing,
You're not kidding.
where each week we share stories about how stepping out boldly always leads to better than expected outcomes. I'm Daryl,
And I'm Ed.
and we're broadcasting live from middle school studios in downtown Culver City.
With a little help from Comfort's Love Cave over in Unity Village.
That's right. This is the heart of Screenland.
Yes, it is.
So what's today? It's something about, it's time for your adjustment, Ed.
That's right, everybody. It is time for your adjustment. When we face a situation that causes us to become frustrated, overwhelmed, or worried, we can put our trust in God's law of adjustment. And we're going to talk about what that means. Surrendering the matter always allows for harmonious realignment. And this is exciting.
Yes.
We know we're in good hands today because Funniest Thing fan and neighbor Cathie Quinn will stop by during the second segment to read and discuss today's daily word, integrity.
I'm still feeling the side effects from that lunch.
Well, let's go right on through with some breathing because we got some great reading. This will help you digest.
Wait, we're going to do the breathings, right?
Yes.
Oh, perfect.
You know, this show is the best news for guys like us who don't like to work too hard
That's right.
for the things that we deserve, the good. We don't have to, what did you say? We don't have to work hard to earn. What did you say? What was that affirmation you had recently?
I'm taking what they're giving because I'm working for a living.
No, that's not what you
I
said.
said that.
You said.
Yeah, it's one. I wrote it in my phone so I'd remember for occasions like this.
Yes.
Something to do with the fact that I don't need to do anything
Yes.
to deserve all the good that's already in my life
That's
and the
right.
good that's yet to come.
That's right, because it is our nature when when we live in sync with our nature for good to happen and flow into our life, experiences, finances, relationships, whatever it is. It is and to quote this show, it's time for your adjustment. Made me think immediately of the quote from Will Rogers, which we've mentioned several times, which is, if you find yourself in a hole, stop digging. Stop digging.
And also the truth that whenever we're expecting good things,
Yes.
we are in agreement with God.
That's right. That's correct. And also, whenever we think things are going bad, we may think it's out there. I may think it's out there. I've got plenty of experience. Daryl's dubbed it Edwardian guilt.
Yes.
When the Edwardian guilt, or whatever your version of that is, we conjure up these stories that are so out of alignment with the loving universe that we live in.
No wonder we're freaked out.
That's right. And then if we take action out of that, we end up making this giant mess out of nothing. I mean, just earlier this morning, I had that experience. And
Well, you got to tell that story. Let's do the breath so you can tell
Yeah.
that story. Because what Ed's getting at is that the good news is the law of adjustment, which is the law of love, is always in effect. And
no matter what.
Yeah, and just surrendering to it with our mind,
Yeah.
it allows everything to get realigned in a better than expected manner.
Exactly.
You got to tell that story. So let's do the breaths and the
Okay,
readings, because
okay.
that's a great example that just happened today.
Yeah, I can tell that in 2 minutes.
Okay.
There's the good news. Even if I bust it, God will adjust it.
Yes, because that's crucial. A lot of us think we made some terrible mistake.
That's right.
I've done this, and throughout my lifetime, I'll do something, and then immediately I feel remorseful about it, and then I go into
That's right.
the part that's really damaging, and that is I begin to punish myself mercilessly.
Yes.
And then I'm believing I deserve to be punished, but I really am afraid about being punished because to the degree that I think I should be punished and never forgiven
Right.
is so gigantic in my mind.
Yes.
It can
No, I hear you.
it could really paralyze us, and this is why we love these 3 breaths, because the fact is we live under grace.
Yes, we do.
Not just karma. We live under grace, which is even better than karma, because it means when we surrender to God's law of adjustment, even our mistakes, as long as we're moving forward in a positive direction, even our mistakes in our past is transformed for our highest good.
That's right. That's right. Because that idea of karma or living on this place where I did this and it leads to that and it leads... This is why Daryl and I love certain authors and ways of looking at things, which is to go beyond what we've heard called like the psychic plane, where it's like about cause and effect.
Yeah,
and
karma is the psychic plane.
And go into the consciousness that is only love all the time. And we find when we go there, that automatically adjusts everything in the most amazing and harmonious ways. So,
and it allows me to act
Yes.
in better it asks me to start watching myself acting, executing behavior that is even beyond what I would normally be able to do. And when I mean beyond, I mean I'm really acting in a very virtuous way, naturally.
Yes.
When I'm in that mindset.
And it's joyous.
Instead of just doing it because I'm going to be good.
Well, it's like we were talking about. Some people, someone put up a post of this amazing song that they had done, and we were saying some people were putting up compliments, but the compliments were actually coming out of a place of fear because they're not like it was like almost like I hope I'm going to get famous. I hope someone's going to compliment me when I do my thing. These kind of things.
And you could feel it.
So I said, I called it all the compliments with none of the joy.
Yeah.
And we can get robotic in our spiritual practice and anything and forget that joy, which you posted on our Facebook page today, is really the highest perspective we can have when we're in a joyous and flowing state. So let's just do our breaths.
Okay.
Okay, so let's take a deep breath. Even if I bust it, God will adjust it.
Even if I bust it, God will adjust it.
Even if I bust it, God will adjust it. All right.
Break down, shake down, you're busted.
Ooh. All right, so why don't you read that reading first, and then I'll tell my quick story off of that, and then we'll get some more readings.
Oh, these are good ones.
Yes.
And this is from Adam H. Dickey, God's Law of Adjustment.
Good old Dickey.
It's from 1916 or 1910. I'm not sure which. You could find it online, but it'll be posted on DarylAndEd.com for your convenience.
On today's show script page.
Yes, and it's called God's Law of Adjustment. And this is just a small part of it. It says here, the most satisfying and comforting sense of peace and joy always follows the willingness on our part to allow God to control every situation for us through his law of adjustment.
Yes.
When we understand that infinite mind is the ruler of the universe, that every idea of God is forever in its proper place, that no condition or circumstance can arise whereby a mistake can find lodgment in God's plan, then we have the complete assurance that God is capable of adjusting everything as it should be. The fact is that all things are already in their rightful place, that no interference or lack of adjustment can really occur. It is only to the unenlightened human sense that there can be such a thing as discord. God's universe is always in perfect adjustment, and all his ideas work together forever in perfect harmony. When we are willing to give up our frightened and uncertain sense of things and let the divine mind govern, then and then only shall we behold that all things work together for good to them that love God.
That is the best. Something to remember that's been helping me lately is when something doesn't feel good and the way I'm thinking about something doesn't feel good. And that can include like me getting ready to tell someone off because they're just really getting on my last nerve. If I really look at that, that is like adrenaline and fear. That doesn't really feel good. It might have momentum.
Yes.
But it doesn't feel good. So one of the things you could do that remind me of this reading reminded me is to start saying, I've been telling myself lately, I just need to look at this in a whole new way.
Yes.
I need to look at everything right now in a whole new way. And I did that yesterday with someone in my life I was feeling like, why don't they do things more this way and that way? And I was tempted to like let them know, blah, blah, blah. But I just said, this doesn't even exist in God's mind. It's perfect for this show on law of adjustment. It doesn't even exist. And I just kept affirming, no way, I love that person. That person is perfect. I'm perfect. And I just forgot about it. And then today I woke up and I had the most wonderful conversations with that person. And it's just because I allowed new thoughts to come through my head, new refreshing God-aligned thoughts.
Yeah, positive thoughts. Optimism gets short shrift. They think Pollyanna or you're just being optimistic. But do you realize optimism, the world does not progress. We do not progress without being optimistic.
That's correct.
We don't move forward being pessimistic.
That's right.
And what you brought up about this, it's important because sometimes a virtuous thing may seem like this is in alignment with God. Last night I called Ed because I got asked to give a talk somewhere last minute.
Yes.
They said we could schedule another time, but we have no one. We'd love to have you come in tonight. Mm-hmm. And I was so glad that I didn't immediately call back because I was having that thought in my mind, oh, I should do this because it's last minute and it's virtuous, must be God's will.
Right.
But there was a more sober, sound part of me saying, look, you just came over the worst migraine you ever had.
Right.
Yesterday. You're feeling good today.
Right.
She said she would reschedule another time. But then, no, but this might be God's will.
Right.
So I call a friend, and that's always good to do. Call a friend or call the prayer line.
Yes.
So even you hear it objectively. Bottom line is I already knew the answer ahead of time,
yes.
But by calling someone, somehow it makes it that much easier to follow through with God's law of adjustment. And I called back, and it was perfect. I said, nope, sorry, can't make it. Let's do it another time. They were fine. I felt great. And I ended up last night finishing a cartoon for a Christmas card that I've been struggling with.
Yeah.
And I didn't strain my neck. And it just goes to show you, sometimes even a virtuous idea can make you feel like, no, gotta go for it. No, if it has that anxiety with or if it's not a hell yes, it's a no.
Yes. One of the things I've been doing in my morning routine, which is right along with this, is instead of fighting and trying to figure out where the negative's coming from, I affirm these thoughts cannot block the flow of God's good, whatever God has for me. And then one of the things that's really kind of new for me, at least feels new right now, is I see how many joyful thoughts I can activate in that moment.
Yes.
Imagining myself dancing, imagining myself laughing, imagining myself having a good time. And the story I was going to share just briefly is that I run these lunch groups and I have an open heart, so I tend to just let a lot of the kids that God presents to me, I say, sure, join.
Yeah, I'm just letting the people who may be just tuning in that Ed runs lunch groups at the school
in
district.
Culver City,
yeah,
Unified.
at the school district. So these are all elementary or middle school kids.
Yeah, kids that need help making friends, connecting, whatever it is that they may not they may benefit just from being in my presence, whatever. I let them in. So like this one group, and this isn't the first time, just blossomed to like crazy numbers, right? And the last time they came in, they were just bouncing off the walls. I actually cut the meeting. I didn't actually really cut it short, but I kicked them out at the very end.
Right.
And just let them know, like, all right, that's I can't. That's unacceptable for me to be acting like the certain ways they were acting, right?
Right.
So then that was 2 weeks ago. Then that group meets every 2 weeks. So last night I'm thinking, man, the main thing I want is the kids who really need that group. And I thought of one kid in particular. I want him to have a positive experience.
Yes.
So fast forward, I walk in the room today, and I say, some reason, without even thinking, I said to the 2 assistants I had, I said, I'm blessing this room right now. The only positive is allowed in here. I said, only positive vibes, right? And I was laughing. They
But
laughed.
it's great because even just saying that in a joking way
Yeah.
gets everyone's mind in agreement with
Right.
that belief.
Yes.
And that's a prayer. Whether you don't
Yes.
need to call it and say, okay, let's all hold hands and
Right.
pray on this.
Right.
Just saying that is the prayer.
Right. And so then, who comes through the door first? The very kid I had been thinking, I really want that kid to have a positive experience. He had a game that he wanted to play, an Uno game. So I said, that's what we're playing. We set up. For some reason, only 4 other kids, the perfect kids, showed up. This is a group that was like 12 or 15 in a small room last time. Just a total of 5 kids.
And it was
were
the
there.
kids who
The
wanted to
perfect kids.
participate
The
for their
very
own growth.
kids. Yeah,
Yes.
the more you said it, actually I realized the ones that were there were the perfect kids that I wanted to be able to have a positive experience, who really I felt would benefit from it. All I did was turn it over. All I've been doing lately is just turning everything over. My finances have improved tremendously this week, and all I've been doing is just affirming the joyous thoughts and affirming that those negative thoughts, they don't have the power to prevent the good from coming into my life.
Ed, we're gonna do these readings, but I'm gonna do some foreshadowing on our mail. Ed's been doing all this affirming on prosperity.
Yes.
And we even got 2 books sent to us.
Yes.
We're gonna talk about that later, called The Heart of Prosperity from one of our favorite authors, Catherine Ponder.
Right.
Today.
Right, and then 2 days ago, I got a hunch to promote, boost one of our posts just for fun.
Which we never have done.
We've never done anything like that. This post in the last day and a half has gotten like 325 likes, and we've gotten a bunch of new fans on our fan page. And it's just because I had, this is fun, and
joyful hunch.
I had
to
the
do it.
joyful hunch to just share that one post, and now there's people in Indonesia, more people in Indonesia.
Yes.
I said China, Japan, more fans wherever you're listening. We appreciate it, and we appreciate you liking our stuff. And we got a couple other good little readings.
These are great to wrap this segment out with.
Yeah, this is great right here.
This is from Emmett Fox. Like I said, you can find all the readings from today's show at DarylNed.com. And this is from Around the Year with Emmett Fox. God is a God of love and rules by principle. And because this is so, he cannot change his nature.
Yes.
He cannot break divine law. He cannot bring disease or suffering or lack. He is always the loving Father, ready to hear and answer prayer.
Yes. Okay, and the next part, also from Emmett Fox. When your knees are knocking together and you do not know which way to turn, think of God and his goodness. When prosperity seems out of the question, give thanks for God's abundance. When you want peace of mind, dwell upon the presence of God. When your health is under par, speak the healing word. When you need inspiration, browse through the Bible or some other inspired book.
Yes.
When the situation seems to need a miracle, remember that nothing is too difficult for God and that he is performing miracles every day.
Oh, we're right on time. And I actually used the healing prayer while I was laying down and my head was killing me. I just kept seeing myself instead of going, God, I hope you get rid of this, because I was thinking that first and the pain didn't go away.
Yeah.
But then because we prepared for this show, I knew
Yes.
that I said, no, I'm going to start imagining myself free from this.
Yes.
And the pain diminished even in the moment of prayer.
Yes.
And here finally from Emmett Fox, give thanks. Remember that praise and thanksgiving are the most powerful prayers of all, even if you're still in the problem.
Yes.
Repeat your thanksgiving and the answer will come. This is vital. All day long, guiding of your thought cannot fail to bring your demonstration.
That's right, because the biggest part of you is not in the problem.
No.
That's why it hurts so bad when we find ourselves believing we are in a problem. The moment we wake up and realize that all is well and that life is moving in our favor, everything gets better.
I think we should say
Eric
this.
Butterworth said, God does not hear your prayers, you do. Meaning the way God is always loving, providing,
And
moving,
adjusting.
and adjusting. It's us that needs to pray to remind ourselves of that truth.
Yes, because that's why Ed and I both love affirmations and appreciate them and believe in them, because Affirmations just get our minds back in line
Yes.
with God, and then instantaneously we start now moving on like that
Yes.
moving sidewalk in the airport
Yes.
with God to a much better place.
That's right. That's right. All right. Well, coming up next, Funniest Thing fan and neighbor Cathie Quinn stops by to read and discuss today's daily word, integrity. Thank you for listening to Funniest Thing on Unity Online Radio. This one is called...
I get so excited when the show starts. I'm going, are we even talking about anything?
Oh, yeah. That's... YouTube listeners should know that that's pretty much par for the course, because once we get in line with the Spirit and it starts moving us, we just go with it.
Do we put our hands up like they do at those Christian organizations?
What the heck, if you're feeling it?
Like those satellite dishes?
Yes.
And they close their eyes and go,
Yeah, baby. That's right.
hell yeah. Amen.
That's right.
Satellite dishes.
Satellite dishes.
Read this.
Nice. All right. Oh, we have someone joining us.
Cathie Quinn, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. Dude, I got to share a little of the Silent Unity prayer when it comes time for my mom.
Oh, wait. Who did I do? It's funny because I did one too.
Let's accept.
Oh, I did one for...
Can we have this dance
Janine's-
with Cathie Quinn?
Till your computer down so we could see you. There you go.
Kathy looked like us at that little bar
I
the
know.
other
It
day.
was just barely the top of your head. There, you look like that.
There we go. Okay.
Now you look much better.
That's right. That is right.
Thank you. Hi.
Hello.
You had a migraine yesterday?
No, I was out cold Sunday.
Sunday, Monday,
And Monday.
not happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, back again.
Yeah, back Tuesday night, and then today I'm much better.
Oh,
I had to get it.
But Cathie Quinn is on the show, and we've been waiting all week for you.
Yes, we have.
Happy days.
Wait,
That's right. Happy days are here again.
Oh, jeez, there goes my ink. I don't know where.
That was the Jeff Comfort bobblehead night at Unity Village.
Oh yeah, they handed those out to everyone because he's always saying that in the control room.
Oh, that's perfect.
I can't believe they modeled that right off his head. They put the plaster on his face.
That was the day he was out of gummy bears.
Jeff just went away on my...
Me too. He's being cheeky.
Oh, go ahead.
You're listening to Funniest Thing with Daryl and Ed,
That means
the
he
best
has
looking guys on the radio.
assistant
If you have a
or an
question or
intern
comment about today's show,
when it
or if
goes
you'd like to
dark.
join in the
I see.
discussion, friend us
I
on
see.
Facebook at Funniest Thing with Daryl and Ed, or email us
Gummy
at
snake.
funniestthing@unityonlineradio.org. Now, back to Funniest Thing.
Yeah. Welcome back, everybody. This is Daryl and Ed, and it's time for your adjustment.
Yes, it is.
So thank you for joining us.
And the good news is it doesn't take a lot of work to enjoy your adjustment. It just means, once again, believing that God is always on our side.
That's right, and it also means if you've got a problem, then now it's the final countdown.
We have some news for our listeners in from the DNA Institute of America.
That is correct. Why don't you read from the manuscript?
Yes, we
There's
got
been some shocking...
shocking developments.
information.
Yes, and I don't know if Mr. French is happy about it.
That's right.
Because we discovered we had the contest, if you could figure out what God made Mr. French out of.
Yeah, his DNA was sent to a lab to figure out what his breed mix was.
Yes, because we weren't sure if he lied on his application.
That's right.
And we
We
discovered...
found some very
Interesting.
interesting information.
Yes.
Very gripping.
Yes, he was not half Chihuahua and half Dachshund. He tried to play himself off as a Chiweenie to get this position on the affirmative action plan. We actually found out he is Chihuahua and Mini Poodle, which he's very embarrassed about, ladies
Especially
and gentlemen.
since the postman growing up was a mini poodle.
I know.
Hey. All right, the postal poodle used
Yeah.
to come around, stay a little too long at the Mr. French estate, if you know what I mean.
When Mr. French's mom.
That's right. But thank you, listeners. We'll have another contest soon.
We love that. We're getting lots of mail.
Oh my God, our P.O. box has been off the chain.
The real P.O. box.
Yes.
Actually, it's finally getting mail.
Which is P.O. Box, funniest thing, P.O. Box 1312, Culver City, California, 90232.
That's right.
All right.
This is the time when we like to thank the one and only listener who has actually had to sit through and endure. What episode is this? 100 and what?
29, I think.
He's sat through 129 hours of funniest thing.
Yes.
And that's our audio engineer, who's also the audio engineer for all the shows at Unity Online Radio.
Yes.
At Unity Village.
Yes.
In Unity Village, Missouri.
Yes.
And his name is Jeff Comfort.
Yes.
And each week he takes us right into the comfort zone. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a fast.
I think I come up with a new jingle for him.
Oh, thank
that
God.
involves get your motor running.
Comfort.
Head out on the highway.
Yeah, but then where's the comfort?
No, I'm trying to figure it out. Looking for adventure. Whatever comes his way. Jeff Comfort gonna make it happen. Make a sound in a love embrace.
Wait, that's good.
Fire all of the nuns in London.
Fire all the nuns in London. Why
You're the
is
one
that?
who said that's what
I
they
know.
say.
Why is that line in that song?
Explode into space.
So now, speaking of space, the Unity prayer line you can call. We call it all the time. 1-800-NOW-PRAY or 800-669-7729. It's been around for 125 years. Started by Charles Fillmore, the founder of Unity.
We are amateurs compared to the adjustment you'll get from one call or one prayer to the You Pray, the letter You Pray app.
That's free, which is a free
blast.
And there's something,
Jesus
I'll
juice.
tell you, the adjustment happens as soon as you overcome the reluctance to ask for help in prayer.
That's right.
As soon as I'll do it. And I text in my prayer or I call in, instantaneously, I become optimistic. And I'm already feeling everything is now being adjusted.
That's right.
Properly.
Because Mr. French, we may have found out, was part Chihuahua. But when it comes to actually opening up to receive help, Eddie B is the biggest Chihuahua there is. I start shivering like a little, oh my God, it's not right. I can't ask for help. What will that do to this crazy image of myself that I've built up and believe is real? That'll make it appear that I'm not a man. Yes, I'll be weak. But that actually that's weakness when I'm off.
Yes.
Worried about whatever.
Speaking of
By the way, this morning I sent a prayer. My mother has been going through some physical pain, and she's been going to doctors. And today she went to a new doctor. And I just knew it was going to work out perfectly because yesterday's doctor visit was less than comforting. Less than hopeful.
Right.
I mean, this isn't real serious stuff, but it's a pain thing, and she's been in pain. But today, I sent the You Pray app before she went to that doctor. The doctor's appointment turned out to be perfect. And she said, the Unity sent me this letter. It said, Dear Eddie, you have a caring heart, and we are privileged to unite in prayer with you for your mother. As we pray together in the days ahead, we will be united with you in the faith that the healing love of God is strengthening and renewing every atom of the body temple. We will hold this prayer in our hearts, and we invite you to join us as we affirm you have the healing love of God flowing through you now, restoring energy and vitality. And there's a little bit more, but just reading that letter just infused me with even more enthusiasm. And like I said, I already got the call from my mom that this doctor's visit was, of course, really positive, and she, her energy level and the feeling that she's headed in the right direction, that alone is worth more than money.
Well, yeah, the doctor's main job, I forget who said it.
Quote that quote.
I don't know if it was Socrates or one of them, Plato, but they said the doctor's main job is to humor the patient so the healing can take place. Meaning, give you the faith that you're going to be okay.
That's right.
Is the best medicine.
So he believed in the law of adjustment.
Yes, he did. Yes. And there's two other people we should send some prayers out for with this same healing thought.
Yes.
You made me think of. And one of them's Dan Sherman. He's a friend of mine, and he's been struggling with some health issues, and he's getting some treatment for that.
Yes.
And there's also not my cousin, but a cousin of mine's cousin, if you could think of how that works, is going through some health concerns, and it seems very scary for everyone involved. So I just want to send these thoughts out to, and these prayers out to Meg and Dan and whoever else is out there listening.
Anyone and everyone, when we tap into this divine mind, it really does change things. It changes things because it brings us back into a much larger reality that's always present. That's why struggle and all that feels so bad. We'll say it again. It's because we're not working in conjunction with the majority of the power and the force. Everything is harmonized when we get into this mindset.
And expecting good outcomes, expecting a healing is in agreement with God.
Yes, because from a much broader perspective, even though it's not necessarily conventionally nowadays or whatever like it thought this, but it's the most realistic approach that you can take.
Yes.
Because it's much more aligned with what's really going on than believing like I can only speak for myself, but I'm always unwinding this like subconscious kind of pattern of believing that negativity and pessimism is somehow protecting me or making things better, which is so what do you call it? Bass-ackwards?
Well, yeah. Well, because we think it's virtuous to worry, or else I'm not being concerned.
Yeah.
I'm being disrespectful if I'm not showing concern.
Totally.
But science has even proven when we think positive thoughts, optimistic thoughts, chemicals that actually are released in our bodies that actually promote health.
Yes.
When we're fearful, angry, and upset, they've seen this. It's proven. You can look it up anywhere. You could Google it. You don't have to take my word for it. When we're feeling those negative thoughts, there's chemicals being released through the body that actually cause damage. They're toxic.
Right. I don't know if we mentioned the prayer line. You might have read it as 800-NOW-PRAY or 800-669-7729, or you get the letter U Pray app at the App Store. And that is a fantastic way. Another fantastic thing is the Daily Word.
Yes, because it's not just for little old ladies. Go, Granny, go, Granny, go, Granny, go.
No, they read it too.
Yes, they do.
All right, so today, to help us with the reading of the Daily Word, we have local residents and Funniest Thing fan,
Cathie Quinn.
Yes.
Yeah, because Daryl and Ed are still like little boys, so we have to have an adult come in every week and read the Daily Word to us.
Or maybe we're like that older gentleman we saw at the post office who pretends his suspenders get unhooked from his pants so that he can talk to the cute lady in the post office.
You would believe this. Yeah, he actually had suspenders and a belt on. So we knew the suspenders were just a ploy to kind of talk to women.
Yes.
And he goes, "Oh, miss, can you help attach the back of my suspenders?" And it worked.
Well, that's why you and I use the Daily Word to invite guests in.
That's true.
Beautiful guests.
And speaking of beautiful guests, look, it worked. We got Cathie Quinn.
Yes.
Oh, what a lovely intro. Hello.
Hi.
Hey.
How are you today?
I'm fantastic. Thank you for asking. How about you guys?
We're great. And I knew you were going to say that because I can see you beaming from your chair in your beautiful home in Culver City.
Yes, she has I think since Culver City, actually Star Trek, the original Star Trek was filmed here where Culver Studios is, where Desilu Studios used to be. And it looks as if Cathie Quinn was able to smuggle out Captain Kirk's actual chair from the bridge, prop.
And she's got the sweater from
I know, she
Star
even
Trek.
has the Star Trek sweater on.
That's right.
I guess she hopped the fence when she was younger on some sort of debacle and
Are we on the air?
I think so.
We broke the internet again? Well, YouTubers, looks like we're still on. No, it's still rolling.
Yeah, but hit that little guy.
Hit that little
This
guy.
right there. See what happens.
Let's see what happens. Anyway, the YouTubers apparently are still on, so that's good. We're going to sit here and enjoy our time with our YouTubers.
Are you going to play some elevator music while we wait to see if we get reconnected? Well, the reading is integrity, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right. It is the law of adjustment. We're going to trust that God is going to adjust us right back onto the air. And in the meanwhile, how are you out there in YouTube land? Don't be bashful.
Do you think we're on?
We could do like in the old... I don't think so, because it says we're calling Unity.